Hey, good evening. Hey, good evening, and welcome to Quick Bite History, the live show, where we try to have some fun with history. Tonight we've got 3 quick segments, 2 quizzes, and a participate. So here we go with going to Egypt. We're going to embark on a journey through the sands of time with a true or false quiz designed to test your knowledge of a fascinating era of dynastic Egypt. Discover the marvels of ancient construction, the intricacies of polytheic beliefs, and genius behind their lasting legacies. True or false? The Great Pyramid of Giza was built by the pharaoh Khufu during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. This is true. The Pyramid of Giza was indeed built by Pharaoh Khufu, also known as Cheops, during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom, around 2580 to 2560 BC. It is the oldest and largest of the 3 pyramids in the Giza Pyramid complex and was originally built as a tomb for the pharaoh. Did you get it? True or false? The ancient Egyptians used iron extensively in the construction of the pyramids. This is actually false. The ancient Egyptians primarily used stone and copper tools for construction of the pyramids. Iron was extensively used in ancient Egypt until much later periods. Long after the pyramid building era, the stones were cut and shaped using stone and copper tools, and the construction of the pyramids is a testament to the ancient Egyptians' ingenuity and engineering skills without the use of iron. True or false? The ancient Egyptian civilization was polytheistic, worshiping only one god. True or false? That's false. The ancient Egyptian civilization was polytheistic, meaning they worshiped many gods and goddesses. Their religion included a vast pantheon of deities, each with their own roles and domains. Ra, Osiris, and Isis, to name a few. Moving on to the next one. True or false? The Rosetta Stone was crucial in deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphics because it contained the same text in 3 different scripts. This is true. The Rosetta Stone was crucial in deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphics as it contained the same text written in the scripts hieroglyphic, Demonic, and Ancient Greek. This allowed scholars, particularly Jean-Francois Champollion, to compare the text and eventually decipher hieroglyphs in the 19th century. True or false? All Egyptian pyramids were built as tombs for the pharaohs and their consorts. True or false? What do you think? This is false. Many of the Egyptian pyramids were indeed built as tombs for pharaohs and their consorts. Not all of them served this purpose. Some smaller pyramids and structures within the pyramid complexes were built as cenotaphs or symbolic tombs, where the body was not actually buried. Additionally, Some pyramids were dedicated to queens and other members of the royal family, not just pharaohs and their consorts. Moving on, true or false, the ancient Egyptians had a solar calendar that consisted of 365 days divided into 12 months of 30 days each, plus an extra 5 days at the end of the year. Doesn't sound true, but it is true. The ancient Egyptians developed a solar calendar that consisted of 365 days. This calendar was divided into 12 months and 30 days each, with that additional 5 days at the end of the year. These extra days were added to align the calendar more closely with the solar year and were dedicated to birthdays of specific gods. Moving on to our 7th question out of 10. True or false? The Sphinx of Giza represents the pharaoh Khafre and is part of the pyramid complex. This is true. The Great Sphinx of Giza, which features a lion's body and a human head, is believed to represent Pharaoh Khafre, who was the builder of the second pyramid at Giza. It is part of the pyramid complex and is located near his valley temple, suggesting a close association with Khafre. True or false? The Egyptian Book of the Dead is a single comprehensive text that outlines the rituals to be performed after death. Actually, this is false. The Egyptians' Book of the Dead is not a single text, but rather a collection of spells, prayers, and incantations designed to guide the deceased through the afterlife and protect them from dangers. These texts vary considerably, were customized for the individual, containing a selection of spells that were considered most useful to their journey after life. True or false? The last native Egyptian dynasty was overthrown by the Persians in 332 BC. Actually, it's false. The last native Egyptian dynasty, the 30th dynasty, was overthrown by the Persians in 343 BC. Egypt was later conquered by Alexander the Great in 332 BC, marking the end of Persian rule and the beginning of the Greek Ptolemaic dynasty in Egypt. And finally, true or false? Hieroglyphic writing was used exclusively for religious texts and inscriptions on monuments. Is that true or false? Hieroglyphics only? False. While hieroglyphics writing was often used for religious texts and inscriptions on monuments, it was not used exclusively for these purposes. Hieroglyphs were also used for a wide range of other texts, including administrative and legal documents, letters, and literary works. The use of hieroglyphs was versatile and adapted to different contexts throughout ancient Egyptian history. And that concludes our first segment. That was a whirlwind of information. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to go on to our second segment. This is a little more calm and a little easier to deal with. This is our speed painting round. And what we do here is we have our robots do some painting, and you guys guess. Now the category is famous actresses of Hollywood's golden age. This first one's very easy. Hopefully you can get it. It was a dedicated humanitarian working with UNICEF years. She starred in a film which featured a New York jewelry store in its title. She was also known for her role as Holly Golightly. I'm sure you guys can guess this one. Who's got it? Who's got this one? This one's easy enough. This is Audrey Hepburn. Moving on, now that was the easiest one. They get harder and harder as we go, so you guys need to work on this a little bit. Famous actresses of the Golden Era, Golden Age. She was dubbed the love goddess of the 1940s. She was known for her role in Gilda, especially for a single glove removal scene. She was married to Orson Welles. Who knows this one? Anybody got it? She was born with the name Rita Fonseca. Rita Hayworth is the correct answer. All right, well, let's move on to the next one. This actress starred in 3 films directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Her career was temporarily derailed by a controversial love affair. She was best known for her role opposite Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca. Who knows this one? Somebody's got it, I'm sure. I'm not sure I'm getting everybody's comments tonight. We have a little bit of internet problem. We have storms in our area, so it may be a little bit of a problem on the downlink. This is Ingrid Bergman. Moving on. Our next one's getting a little harder. Her career was marked by both critical and commercial success as well as personal struggles. She starred opposite Clark Gable. She was best known for playing Scarlett O'Hara. We're doing the speed painting. You guys are supposed to be doing the guessing. I'm letting this one go a little longer because it's a little harder. She won 2 Oscars, I believe. Anyway, this is Vivian Lee, one of the most famous actresses of the golden age of Hollywood. Moving on to the next one. I bet you guys will get this one. She initially rose to fame as a model before becoming an iconic actress. She famously sang "Happy Birthday" to a U.S. president. She was best remembered for a scene standing over a subway grate in a white dress. I'm sure you guys are getting this one. If you guessed Marilyn Monroe, you would have gotten this one correct. There we go. We've got a correct answer. Next one, she started her career as a child actress in the early 1940s. She was known for her distinctive violet eyes and multiple marriages. She starred as Cleopatra in one of the most expensive films of all time. I guess it would have been of its time. Who's got a guess? Our robots are painting. You guys need to guess. Good painting number. Not bad. Who's got it? Well, if you would have guessed Elizabeth Taylor, you would have had that one correct. Moving on, before becoming a princess, this actress had a successful acting career. She starred in a Hitchcock film that takes place largely in an apartment, observing neighbors. She also became the Princess of Monaco. I'm sure you guys can get this one. Who's a famous actress who became a princess? Well, if you would have guessed Grace Kelly, you would have had this one correct. Her career breakthrough came with the film The Killers. She often played roles that epitomized the femme fatale. She was one time married to Frank Sinatra. I also know she starred in The Sun Also Rises. Ernest Hemingway. Give you a little extra time on this one. Well, if you would have guessed Ava Gardner, you would have had this one correct. I think you'll get the next one. First film actress to win an Oscar for a non-English speaking role. She became a major sex symbol in Italy before gaining international fame. She was known for her striking beauty, voluptuous figure. Who's got it? Well, if you would have guessed Sophia Loren, you would have this one correct. All right, well, we're moving on to our last painting of the evening. This actress was known for her deep voice and sultry looks. She made her film debut opposite Humphrey Bogart, whom she later married. She also starred in a movie called The Big Sleep. She was very famous. She starred in lots of different movies. As I'm remembering, she wore her hair in lots of different colors. She was sometimes brunette, sometimes blonde, and sometimes redhead. Who's got a guess at this one? Well, if you would have guessed Lauren Bacall, you'd have the correct answer on this one. And that ends our segment number 2. Now we're going to go back to another quiz. This time the quiz is going to be on the American Revolution. So I don't know how good you guys are at your American Revolution answers, but we'll get going. We're going to embark on a journey through history with this true or false quiz designed to test and expand your knowledge on the pivotal moments and figures of the American Revolution. True or false, the American Revolution began in 1775. True or false? 1775. The answer is true. The American Revolution officially began in 1775 with the Battle of Lexington and Concord. These conflicts marked the first military engagement between the American colonies and the British forces, igniting the War for American Independence. True or false? The Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776 by all the founding fathers on July 4th. True or false? Did they all sign on July 4th? That's false. While the Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th, 1776, not all the founding fathers signed it on this date. The signing process began on August 2nd, 1776, and continued over the following months, with some signatories not getting their names until much later. True or false? The American Revolution ended with the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1783. This is true. The American Revolution officially ended with the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1783. The treaty recognized the independence of the United States and established borders for the new nation. True or false? Benjamin Franklin was the first president of the United States. Think you guys can get this one? Was Ben Franklin the first president? I don't think so. This is false. George Washington was the first president of the United States, serving from 1789 to 1797. Benjamin Franklin was a founding father and a key figure in the American Revolution, but he never served as president. True or false? The Boston Tea Party was a protest against taxes on tea imposed by the British Parliament. Boston Tea Party. This is true. The Boston Tea Party was a political protest that occurred on December 16, 1773 at Griffin's Wharf in Boston, Massachusetts. American colonists, frustrated and angry at the Britain for imposing taxation without representation, dumped 342 chests of British tea into the harbor as a protest for the Tea Act. True or false? The French and Indian War was part of the American Revolution. True or false? This is false. The French and Indian War, 1754 to 1763, was a precursor to the American Revolution, but it was not part of the Revolution itself. This war was fought between the British and the French and their respective Native American allies. The control of North America. Its outcome significantly affected the political and economic situation in the colonies, contributing to the tensions that led to the American Revolution. True or false? The Intolerable Acts were measures taken by the American colonists to protest British policies. This is false. The Intolerable Acts were a series of punitive laws passed by the British Parliament in 1774 in response to the Boston Tea Party. Far from being measures taken by the colonists, these were actually meant to punish Massachusetts colonists for their defiance and were a major catalyst leading to the American Revolution. True or false? The Continental Army was created before the Declaration of Independence was signed. This is true. The Continental Army was formed in June 1775, more than a year before the Declaration of Independence was signed in July 1776. The Army was created to coordinate the military efforts of the 13 colonies in their revolt against British rule. True or false? The Battle of Saratoga was a defeat for the American forces. This is false. The Battle of Saratoga was a significant victory for the American forces, fought in 1777. It was considered the turning point in the American Revolution. It convinced France to enter the war on the side of the Americans, and this was a crucial military support that helped secure American independence. And finally, true or false? Thomas Jefferson wrote the final draft of the Declaration of Independence alone. Did he write it alone? No, he did not. This is false. While Thomas Jefferson was the principal author or a principal author of the Declaration of Independence and did write the initial draft, the final version was the result of revisions by the Committee of Five, which included Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Roger Sherman, and Robert R. Livingston, and further edits by the Continental Congress. Jefferson's draft underwent significant changes before it was the final version. And with that, we'll conclude our final third segment of the evening, and hope that y'all had a little bit of fun with history tonight. And hopefully you'll join us again next time we do this.